TDH, thank you for checking in with me today. I'm trying to work myself out of my funk. I don't know what the heck's been going on, but this morning I woke up, I went out to the paint store, I picked up some sandpaper, some 220 grit to start prepping this car so I can start getting this thing ready to wrap. I also grabbed some other things so I can start cleaning up my glass. Got some razor blades and some window cleaner. I want to start going through, peel that tint off, start cleaning everything off of it, pretty much getting these things prepped up and ready to go into the car. I also got some drill bits. I don't know when I'm going to start, but all of these little rivets are going to need to be drilled out, and then I'm going to have to go back over with my welder, tack away, and start plugging all those little holes. It's kind of tedious and kind of frustrating. It's like taking a step backwards. Could have bought a car with glass in it, but I could sit here and complain and cry about it all day long, or we can get this glass swapped over and get this car looking like a normal 240. I don't know what I'm going to do about this sunroof delete here. It definitely needs to get fixed up. I would like to put a piece of Lexan, but I also need to figure out what I'm going to do about the structural integrity of the car, because obviously the cars with slick tops from the factory are a little more braced and stronger than the ones that have the sunroof, so that's something I definitely need to look into and figure out. Other than that, it's just going to be a lot of sanding and tedious work, stuff that you guys have seen before on all of my paint videos and stuff. This one's going to be obviously different because we're going to be attempting to wrap it. I don't know if I'm going to attempt to wrap right here. I might do like maybe like the fender, or like this back quarter panel or something, and give it a shot. I don't know how well it'll come out. I've got my old hair dryer that I broke out. A lot of people use heat guns and stuff, but I'm a little worried about applying too much heat. That vinyl's pretty thick, and if you overstretch it, it'll never come back to its normal form. So I'm gonna try to do less heat as possible. It definitely needs, since I tried wrapping my side skirt, the other one's over there. I need to like sand that one down and bring it to the house and do that tonight. So that's also on the list. There's a lot of things to do. I just got to get the motivation and obviously have my camera ready to film it so you guys can see every step of the way. So while I brought that up to myself, I'm going to go ahead and pull it out and pretty much sand this thing down and get ready to wrap it tonight. It'll be a fun little project. Alright guys, let me get to work. One more thing, I might end up taking off this rear like skirt. It's not really a bumper, it just kind of sits over the top of my factory one. It's kind of obvious, you guys can see it there. I might pull that off and also prep that so I can bring that into the house tonight and sand that down, or sand that down and then bring it into the house to start wrapping it. Jeez, idiot. Check this crap out. He couldn't even finish painting the rest of the car. That's how lazy he was. What a shitty previous owner. I love you. I'll fix you. Alright guys, so my buddy Michael Kelly and his buddy Carr stopped by and they wanted to look at the car. They've been in the 240 game far longer than I have, and they have quite a bit of experience, and it'll kind of match some faces to some names here. There's Michael, that's the guy that I got my hood and like all the parts from at the junkyard, and his buddy Carr's over here messing with my ECM. He's showing me how to run the diagnostics.
Yeah, we're just pulling the codes on it right now, and so we got like a 23 so far, and I think the other one's a 45. I gotta count them again. Yeah, unless it's a 2 and 3, we'll have to look them up.
Yeah, I have to look. I
can't remember all. I can't remember all these things.
I know 55 says all good.
Yeah, 55, but it does like 5 and 5. That means all good, clear.
First number's slow and then the second number's fast, so it's kind of like you kind of got to guess.
Yeah, so this is definitely a 23. Let's see what else we got.
So we've been able to do a little more research, and we're possibly thinking the Royal sticker on the ECM is the company who imports the motor. As we speak, Carr's running through the codes and trying to match them up. Something that I definitely needed to learn, and something I needed to see so I can have a better understanding of the CA, and now we're going to be able to hopefully clean it up, get it to run, you know, somewhat decent, not as rich. Alright guys, so we were able to mess with the diagnostics on the ECM, and I did a little research, and we were able to kind of, I don't know, not exactly trace where the ECM is from or where the motor's from, but we've kind of got a good idea. So that's awesome to hear. We were able to pull the little diagnostic codes off of them, and ended up being that coolant temperature sensor right down in here. This is coolant temp sensor, and that's what it was saying, it was bad. I'm surprised it didn't pull anything up for that O2 sensor, but I'm going to have to figure out about replacing this O2 sensor here. Long gone.
You don't have to worry about all that.
Sorry, that guy just stopped to talk to us, and it kind of interrupted my filming there. Anyways, we're finally starting to like sort out all the little issues with this thing, and we're starting to like trace all the problems. These guys are here giving me a really helpful hand. We might try to go to Gainesville this weekend and possibly slide it. Not 100% sure. It's kind of up in the air. Definitely up in the air, but
Trying to make the harnesses work
trying to make the harnesses
without cutting them off.
somewhat safe and legit. I don't know how this guy did anything in this car. I really don't. But whatever. So I kind of figured this was going to happen. My friends would come over, we would start talking about 240 stuff, and then next thing you know, we'd just be hanging out, talking about all the cool things that we could do to our 240s, where we could drift it, and so on and so forth. But I did get some work in before they came, and while they were here, I was doing a little bit. I sanded down this quarter panel area here. I'm going to start prepping this to probably wrap this area first. I've got the gas tank pulled off. I have this metal, like, divider piece that sits in between the taillights over here. It's kind of hard to see because I don't have any light. Hold on. But that little metal piece, if you guys own a 240 or if you're kind of familiar, it'll sit between that center light right here where the reverse lights are, and then sits here. So I've got that taken off. I'm going to wrap that. I'm going to wrap my gas tank. Michael said he has a fender that he'll sell me for super cheap. This one's got like this plastic metal on it or whatever it is. I don't know what that crap is. The Bondo plastic metal, whatever it's got going on. I'm obviously gonna need to replace that and then roll them a little bit. So Michael said he might be able to hook me up with a fender, and we talked about figuring out what we're gonna do for my harness bar. Man, you can't really see anything in here. So, oh, gosh, that's frustrating. All right, guys, I'm just going to move it inside and start messing with the wrap and stuff on my on those pieces over there. I wanted to start wrapping the other side skirt, but I don't think I'm going to have a chance to sand it down, and also the skirt for the back bumper. I might have to just do that tomorrow morning, come in here, sand it down, and move back in the house and continue wrapping those. Let me get everything handled and taken care of. That side, I gotta go feed my dogs and get my dinner ready, but once that's all squared away, I'm gonna jump on wrapping some of those parts, wherever they are over here. Alright guys, so I'm all done with dinner. My girlfriend, she came home, we had dinner together, hung out, and relaxed for a little while, but I wanted to film this and do a little work to my 240 parts before I called it a night, and I wanted to film a little bit more. So what we're going to be doing is pulling the glass that I have brought inside. One second, hold on. So I brought the glass inside. It's a little chilly out, and it just makes this a lot easier for me to have like a nice table or something to work on this thing. But what I'm going to do is start stripping off all of this old tint. As you guys can see, there's like old tint here, and then all of this old sealer. This all has to come off in order for me to be able to apply a new seal and also apply this thing to my car. I got a pack of razor blades and my little razor blade knife, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to get like a towel or something to lay on my table so I don't scratch my glass on the outside. And I'm going to start stripping everything off of it. And then we'll move on to the other glass, or I just might do one and then show you guys the other. And then we're going to be wrapping my fuel door and then the piece below my taillights. You guys saw that in one of the last clips. So let's get to work here. Ooh, you getting it off in one piece? Uh-oh. Jennifer's peeling the tint off my new windows, and she might just be getting so lucky enough to pull the whole entire piece of tint out.
Very nice, huh?
Right? Oh, so close.
So close.
There we have it, guys. The window has been stripped down and cleaned up of just about everything that was on it. You guys can see that it's a pretty clean looking piece of quarter glass. Flip it over here, I'll show you guys the edges. It's not perfect. There's a couple areas where, like right here, I could take it down just a little bit more. 97% of the sealant has been pulled up. I think I'm going to tend to it just a little bit more in these areas you guys can see right there. And then I'm going to move on to my other piece of glass that's laying over there. I probably won't film that one because that's just going to be redundant and you guys have already seen it. And then we'll move on to pulling out some wrap and trying to wrap that, and along with that taillight piece. Both of the glass have been cleaned up and finished. Got them laying right here in my room. Just wanted to show you guys really quick. I'm going to hop in the shower and then turn my attention to trying to wrap those pieces. So here's the rear valance that sits underneath the taillights on the 240. It's pretty simple. If you guys have a 240, it's like 6 or 4 bolts or nuts to get them out. I think it's like 6 or something like that. Mine only had 2 on either end. Anyways, I'm going to unravel this guy, cut down just enough for this rear valance and for the gas cap. I don't want to make this an all-night kind of deal here. It's already like 10 o'clock here and I tripped over this. Fail. I did it for the clip though, I didn't stop what I was saying. Anyways, I don't want to be up all night, so I'm going to try to get this one done. I have a hair dryer that I'm going to use as my heat source. I'm not really comfortable with a heat gun or a torch right now at the moment, so I'm going to try using that. This is really, really thick, and I don't know how forgiving it is. I don't think it's very forgiving. It's not like the 3M stuff. So I have a piece cut out, and it's just barely wide enough to cover corner to corner. I have a couple tries in length, but with width I have to get it right the first time or I'm going to be SOL. Might be a fun little project here. It's going to get really interesting. If the vinyl gets messed up a little bit, I don't think I'm going to lift it and try to redo it. I think I'm just going to try to roll with it and do what I can and learn as I go because it is a drift car. I don't think this area is going to get messed up very much. It does have a lot of carbon buildup that blows out of the back of the exhaust into the drift pipe, so it will get pretty dirty, so I might have to replace it. I don't know, but I'm not going to really mess with it. If my fenders and my bumpers and stuff like that get torn up and messed with, obviously I'm going to replace those areas, but for right now I'm just learning, so bear with you guys if it comes out looking a little rough. So I do have a second piece if I mess up, but hopefully I don't, so I can use that for the gas tank. And I also have to pop my little razor blade. I bought a Vivid razor blade kit, a really nice fine tip razor, and then some squeegees. And then lastly, a little pick so I can tuck underneath the fenders and areas that I need to tuck. Alright, so I'm going to try it like this. I'm going to pull off the backing paper. So as you guys can see, I've got the basic outline of the valance. I don't really have any air bubbles or any issues. There might be a little flaw right here, and that's because there's a chip in the valance. It's not an air bubble. I might be able to poke it with the needle and try to release any air that is in there if there is, but there's a few right here. Again, there's that little hole. Other than that, it's looking pretty good. I'm going to go over it with my razor blade now, cut along the edges, and start folding this thing over. Came out pretty good. I'm happy. That wasn't too bad. So with the help of my handy dandy hair dryer and my razor blade, I went around these edges and started trimming them up and stretching them over. They adhered up along the edges, but over here on this side, this is going to be the passenger side, it wasn't adhering because of like this overspray right here. I might have to sand all of that stuff down. Now I kind of know as a better reference. You can see my cut is a little jagged there too, but it has a hard time adhering, so I had to cut it a little shy, but it came out really, really good. And this edge is peeking up, you know, that was sitting down a minute ago. I might have to try to cut that again. It's not how I wanted it to be. But besides that, I am really happy. Now we are going to try the gas tank cap. I mean, the gas tank cover, whatever that is. The gas tank door. That's what it is. The gas tank door. Fail. Alright guys, I went ahead and cut out my piece for my door cap here. I'm gonna have to pop one of these blades off and switch my blades before I go ahead and do this, and maybe clean up my edges just a little bit to try to get it to adhere a little bit better. Alright, so this is where my heat is going to come into effect right here on this ridge inside of my gas tank. Right there, I'm going to go ahead and heat this area up and use the edge of my squeegee here just to kind of form it in there, not to be rough with it or anything. I want it just to be formed and shown in there. So some people use torches. I'm just using the small bit of my lighter here just to stretch over my edges, pull over everything along the edge so it looks nice and clean and flush. There's some places where I'm having a little bit of a difficult time, but other than that it's coming out pretty good. Well guys, that is about a wrap. My job here for tonight is done. Most everything came out. There's some areas, like you guys can see right there, where that's my cut is all messed up. Along the top here, my cut's messed up, but it's definitely a learning process. The tank has a little flaw right here that you can feel in the vinyl, and then there's that major one right there, and that's on the tank that you can feel. That's something that I would have to sand all the way down, glaze it, sand it back down, and make sure it was smooth, and it's not that big of a deal to me. It'll be alright. It looks good from 6 foot away. It's a drift car. That is a wrap for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'm super excited to be bringing you guys this wrap content. I know Mike's going to be doing a little bit of his own wrap content. I'm going to be doing bits and pieces of my car here and there just because I'm going to be doing mine in the elements. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to bring it to Brandon's shop. I think I want to take this on like on my own. Maybe have a few friends help me, you know, hold it in certain areas. I think I want to try it here at the house and try to knock everything out. It's going to be tough fighting this big roll out there in the elements. I'm going to try to cut down several pieces so I can like wrap the quarter, and then I'll do the door, and then I'll do the fender. Like I said, I believe I said it in the earlier clips. If not, you guys are hearing it now again for the second time. Anyways, I'm really excited, super stoked on how all of this stuff turned out. I know it has a little bit of flaws here and there, but you can't complain too much. This is my first time for you guys officially seeing it. So that is a wrap for the video. I really appreciate it. If you guys like this content, please hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And if you guys are returning, you know the deal. Leave a comment below. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know what you think of it. Other than that, guys, thank you so much. I will see you in the next video. Deuces.